Is Mr. Barnett hearing me? We did get an indication that he was on.
Yes, I tell you, if you just join us, welcome. Welcome to the Blazing Gospel Radio. We were having some internet problem, but we are up and running. You know, we are just running a little overtime now because of the internet problem, but we're here live out of St. Catherine at the 4H Club in Linstead. And I tell you, it's their virtual annual Career Day. So I tell you, just stay tuned and keep listening. All right, thank you so much to join us again.
And beyond. We're now waiting on Mr. Michael Barnett, manager of New Horizon Academy, to join us. It seems as if he is on, but there is some technical challenge in terms of us hearing him. Give me an indication as to how best we can accommodate him, or is it that we have to go to the next presenter and then we get back to Mr. Barnett? Is Mr. Barnett on now? No?
Yes, if you just join us, welcome. Welcome to the Blazing Gospel Radio. We are live here in Linstead to be exact.
Mr. Barnett? Mr. Barnett, is that you, sir? All right, not sure what is happening.
Plant red peas, corn, yam, sweet potato, cocoa, cabbages from I was young. And further on on my own, I do chicken.
Tell you, if you just join us, welcome. Welcome again to the Blazing Gospel Radio. We are streaming live out of the 4H Club in Linstead to be exact. So I just want to say welcome to each and everyone. Earlier on, we did have some technical difficulties, but we are here again, just streaming, and with my technical team. Mr. Knight is here with us, and I just want to tell you that we're here live streaming out of Rosal to be exact on a beautiful afternoon like this. So I want to say good evening to you and welcome. All right.
Panelists online, do we have Mr. Hode, Fitzhode? No? Mr. Joseph Small? All right, so tell me who we have online so we can ask them to present next.
That's what they're doing.
That's Mr. Barnett.
So here we are in the New Horizon propagation.
Yes.
Pleasant
Welcome,
good day.
Welcome.
Thank you for.
All right, so we have Mr. Barnett now. Mr. Barnett, are you hearing me, sir? All right, so Mr. Barnett's presentation is going to come by way of a video. So let us just watch and listen to what he has to tell us.
For having me speak here at your career day. My name is Michael Barnett. I'm an electromechanical engineer and a machine designer and builder. In particular, I love building agricultural machinery. Now, one of the reasons I think that I've been asked to talk about careers in agriculture is because I am passionate about building equipment for agriculture, yet I just have a green thumb, but I'm not really a farmer as such. You see, that's the mistake. A lot of us think that the moment we say agriculture, we think about farming, like planting, going in the field with a hoe and a cutlass, and we think about, digging and back-breaking work. We think about chasing cows and, you know, looking after goats. But that does not really sum up agriculture. And I'd like to give you a little different spin this morning about agriculture on a whole. Some of us, for example, have curious minds, right? Because when a career counselor sits with you, they tend to do an audit or an investigation, if you like, about the different things that you like, your strong suits, the things that you do well, the things that you're not so happy with or not so keen doing. For example, you may have a very creative mind. You may have a scientific mind. You may like the sciences and you like investigating with the sciences. Or you may even like, you know, the story of crime or criminology or, you know, Hardy Boys. You love that. You love to find out what is really happening. Now, that can also be a very strong suit in agriculture because there are many little mysteries that are happening in agriculture that we need to investigate and we need to get to the root of what's happening, whether it be an insect biting the plant or whether it be an animal not getting able to reproduce over a period of time. And we need people with creative minds to go and figure out, like a CSI hunter, what is happening exactly. Now, one of the things that, for example, we need, for example, right now in Jamaica, I'm giving you an example of such a little mystery. We need about 700 acres of ackee orchards to catch up on the international market for the delivery of ackees. I have a few ackees, as you can see, a plantlet behind me, and I have an ackee plantlet here in my hand. Now, let's start this little Sherlock Holmes mystery. What is going to be needed to grow this ackee plant, for example, well? What is going to be needed to take care of, for example, discolorations, leaves? Is it based on insects? Is it based on some type of biology that's going wrong? Is this plant being fertilized properly? We need chemists, we need lab technicians to do that, to check it. Agronomists, agricultural engineers to know, for example, is it planted properly? We need soil technicians and engineers to know, does it have the right amount of nutrients, compost, fertilizer? What about irrigation? Is the irrigation being done properly? Well, today I'm going to take you on a little journey. I'm going to show you an example of how we do this in a high-tech environment, and I'm going to show you that agriculture is really a whole lot more than just forking the ground, chasing some animals, and, you know, running down some cows. It's much bigger. We're going to be looking at dealing with, for example, this challenge that we have in Jamaica right now, that we need 700 acres of ackees right now, and we need to be producing these plantlets in a sustainable way. Just this example I will use to show you that there is a whole host of careers that are involved in such a venture. Take, for example, you may be good at mathematics and you love writing projects, or you love discovering how projects are made, or how do we even start a project to grow plants. So you may be in agriculture and in an office writing the proposal to get the funding for the person who is going to literally do the physical work. So you would still be an agricultural planner or a project writer. You would not necessarily be in the physical field, but you would still be related to agriculture. What about the person who needs to account for the cost of the bag, the soil, the seed, the plant, the work, the labor, the irrigation? That may be an agricultural accountant. That may be somebody who is doing the figures, doing the costings to figure out if it even makes sense. So I'm hoping you're getting a flavor that agriculture is much, much bigger than what we could really be talking about, just merely talking about farming in the soil. All right, come with me here on the journey today on the New Horizons property, and we'll be showing you how agriculture is using high-tech solutions and engineering in Jamaica today to solve one of the problems we have here in Jamaica.
Okay, so we want to thank Mr. Barnett by way of his video presentation, where he gave you an insight in terms of some of the newer types of careers in agriculture, and of course, how these careers can lend themselves to agricultural innovations, 21st century and beyond. All right, so I need to get an indication now as to see which other member of my panel is online.
Excuse me.
Not
Are you
seeing.
hearing,
I'm sorry.
are you hearing me? I
Do
gather
we
you're
have
hearing.
Mr. Hode
Are you hearing?
or Mr. Small, Joseph Small? Not there. I don't know if Mr. Lorne joined us. No? Miss Humes? I know Miss Humes was having some technical challenges. Who is that? Mr. Hode, are you hearing me, sir? All right, so we understand that he's on, but maybe we're not hearing each other.
Yes, I tell you, if you just join us, welcome to the Blazing Gospel Radio. We're streaming live out of Linstead at the 4H Club in Linstead. And I want to say good evening to each and every one, all right? So just stay tuned.
The contact was it the person who spoke a while ago, Mr. Michael Barnett? How can we contact him?
All right, so he is from New Horizon Academy. I will be getting a contact for that facility for you shortly, but he is the manager of the New Horizon Academy. And as soon as we get the contact for you, Ms. Grant, we will be more than happy to let you have it, as well as other members of the platform. So thank you very much for that question.
Thank you. How would I access that? Would it be in the chat or?
We can put it in the chat, as well as when I am given that information, I will also announce it. So
Okay.
you can look for both in the chat and the announcement that I will make as soon as that information comes to hand.
All right.
Thank you
so
very much. All right, so we're still awaiting Ms. Humes, SSP Pasco. Well, we just heard from Mr. Barnett. We heard from Dr. Mitchell earlier. Mr. Hode, I'm told, is supposed to be online, but it seems as if we're not hearing each other. And we are also expecting Mr. Joseph Small, who is the chair of the National Youth in Agriculture Committee. If not, we are going to, all right, so, Ms. Grant, we have a contact for Mr. Michael Barnett, which we will share with you, and it is 881-8324. So, Ms. Grant, are you hearing us? And it will also be placed in the chat. So let me repeat that number again. It's 881-8324, and that's a contact for Mr. Michael Barnett. And we're going to ask our technical people to also put it in the chat.
Yes, it's in the chat.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, so we heard from Dr. Mitchell, I think she's still online, who gave a very interesting outline as it relates to tissue culture. I don't know if there's anybody online who has any questions for Dr. Mitchell as it relates to the whole aspect of tissue culture and how is it helping us in terms of agricultural production. And for those who
My only question with the tissue culture,
All
is
right.
what is the, like, say, for example, pineapples.
I'm sorry. Can you just identify yourself?
Oh, I'm Dawn Grant.
Oh, Miss Grant. Okay, sorry. Okay,
Yes.
go ahead again. I'm sure. Yes,
Right.
Dr. Mitchell is still on, so she's hearing you.
Okay. So pineapples, when you just take the pineapple, the top of the pineapple, and plant it, it takes a longer time to grow than, say, the sucker. So I'm just looking at inside of tissue culture, how long does it take for a pineapple, the fruit itself, to grow from tissue culture?
Thank
As
you
opposed
very
from
much for that
soil?
question. Um, the top of the pineapple should not take you any more time than the sucker. But we have to have some more training farmer to farmer, or have this information somewhere where the generations can learn from what the farmers know. So I work with farmers a lot, so I learn a lot of these tricks of the trade, if you want to call them that. When you take the top off the pineapple that you get from the store, you have to strip off the food from the bottom and expose the buds, which is where the roots are going to come out. If you don't do that, then the pineapple has to do it in the soil, which takes a longer period of time.
Okay.
And the pineapple, what we found with the tissue culture, we went up to Glengoff and we told them it would take the same period of time as them planting their sucker, and they didn't believe me. And so we said, okay, here are the tissue culture plants, you harden them, you put them in the farm. We're not going to tell you how to grow it. You do it your way, and you're going to have pineapple within the same 9 months. And they did. And we learned together what conditions that the pineapple needs to get that result. And there were others that didn't, because they weren't put in the right way. So in each community, you will have to find the best part of the type of soil and all these other conditions that will get the maximum yield from these tissue culture plants.
Mhm. Inside of your presentation, I interpreted what you said as tissue culture. The medium in which it grows is liquid, but I'm hearing inside of what you're saying now that it is soil.
It
That's
is not liquid, but it can be liquid.
Okay.
You can do liquid tissue culture, and you can do it's not solid, it's like jello, it's semi-solid.
Mm. And can it be also grown in the soil?
Well, what is the tissue culture media is where you have the plant growing in the lab to multiply it.
Uh-huh.
But after you take it out, of course, it can go back in the soil or hydroponic or whichever way you want to grow it.
Okay. Okay. All right. That's interesting. Thank you.
Yes.
Mhm.
All right. So thank you, Miss Grant, and thank you.
I'm sorry. Where are you located?
Thank you,
Sylvia?
Miss Grant.
Yes, at the University of the West Indies, the Biotechnology Center on Mona campus
Okay.
in
thank you.
Kingston.
Yes. Thank you.
All right.
But we go all over the place.
All right.
I don't know. I always end up back in St. Catherine with Glengoff and Harkers Hall and all the rest.
All right. Thank you very much, Miss Grant, and thank you as well, Dr. Mitchell. So at this time, we are faced with some challenges. So unfortunately, we're going to have to put the lid on this panel discussion at this time. So I just want to use this opportunity to say thank you to those persons who stuck with us until this stage of the afternoon for the panel discussion. We wish that we could have had more, but we know sometimes how the technology is. But of course, we want to say thank you to Dr. Mitchell for sticking around with us. Thank you very much, Dr. Mitchell. I am so aware of your work, even from before today, and I must say that you continue to do the good work that you do. So thank you very much, and thank you to the other members of the panel. I know some of them were trying to get on, but they were challenged with the technical difficulties. So at this time, I am going to invite Mrs. June Thompson, JP. She is the chairman of the training committee of the St. Catherine Parish Advisory Council. And while she comes to give us our vote of thanks, again, I just want to use the opportunity to say thank you to co-hosts Shahida Grant and Elvis Williams, who were before me, who set the stage. They did an excellent job in terms of keeping you informed and facilitating the day's proceedings. So over now to Mrs. Thompson. And with that, I also make my exit. Thank you very much again for continuing to support the Jamaica 4-H Clubs, the hub for agricultural excellence.
Thank you, Ms. McCormack. Well, indeed, it is a wonderful thing to be here. I almost said in the house of the Lord. And it is a wonderful day when we plan to make the best better. I am here to extend vote of thanks to the organizers of this awesome St. Catherine 4-H Virtual Agriculture Careers Day. It is said that we must eat what we grow. And against that background, our youths are to be aware of what they can make out of agriculture and what agriculture can make out of them. We are now operating under the theme, Youth in Agriculture, Strengthening Food Security Through Innovation and Technology. And indeed, today we did interact with innovation and technology with the view to strengthen food security. But I want to pause here to acknowledge from head office, Dr. Ronald Blake, Executive Director. And Ms. McCormack is from the head office too, right. Our Regional Director, Ms. Edwards, Carlin Edwards. Parish Manager, Mrs. Elaine Campbell, JP. Our dear Miss Dolores Henry, chairman for the PAC. Mr. Donovan Edwards, parish leader, president. And a whole long list of active people in the 4-H movement, not only in St. Catherine, but across Jamaica. I must pause here also to thank the technical team, because without them, nothing would have been possible. And a big up to the Blazing Gospel Radio team who did the interviewing aspect of the program and which enable persons to speak out about 4-H and agriculture in general. And I must say, I am an agriculturist in my own right, in that my father was a farmer and my husband is a farmer, so I know about agriculture. I want to thank the Reverend Harvey the Costa, who gave prayer this morning, and we cannot succeed without the blessings of the Lord. I thank those who brought greetings from all the different stakeholders and partners and sponsors. The presenters, what an awesome group. The presenters, I've heard about different type of agriculture. I just heard about the one about tissue culture. And we have different type. As one presenter said, it is not just a fork digging up the soil and running down of the cows, but agriculture has a whole wide other dimension out of which many, many, many different careers can come out of. So youths on the platform and leaders on the platform, please guide the youths in the right direction. Agriculture is one of the most noblest career. To choose a career in agriculture is very noble, because we are going to eat what we grow and we can feed our nation. I am going to wind, and we have a number of sponsors and our, what is that person? The parish, our parish patron. I forget you. No, I didn't. We want to thank our parish patron for filling in that gap and for working with the team. I am going to conclude with the panelists. Miss McCormick, although some of the panelists did not turn up, we know the difficulty with the Wi-Fi and the data and all of that. But I must say a great big thanks to those who showed up and for you to monitor it and organize it, because we have learned of the different ways and they have shared with us to let us know that it's not only one route to agriculture, but there are many routes or many roads leading from agriculture for us to build a career and for the youths to really, really, really strengthen food security, because without food, we go hungry. Without food, we will not be alive. So as we seek in 4-H to make the best better, we could never have displayed it more in today's virtual agriculture careers day. I am sure that out of this exercise, we are going to be getting calls, and we are going to see all the clubbites and others springing out and really running on the road to agriculture as a career. Everyone, ladies and gentlemen, everyone all, I say thanks, and I pray that we will embrace what was shared in this virtual agricultural careers day. God bless you all.
All right, so again, thank you everybody. Do have a safe rest of the evening, safe weekend, and I can't emphasize it anymore. Keep safe. Thank you, everyone.
I'm no longer a slave to fear, for I am a child of God. Let's raise that loud, say, I'm no longer a slave to fear. Yeah.
Yes, I tell you, wow.
Of God.
What a day, what a day.
You unravel me.
Yes, we are streaming live.
Melody.
Live out of
You surround me.
the 4-H Club here in Linstead. I tell you.
Of deliverance from my enemies, till all my fears are gone. I'm no longer a slave to fear. Let's declare it together, say, for I am a child of God. Say, I'm no longer a slave to fear. For I am a child of God. I love this when y'all, it says, from my mother's womb, you have chosen me. Your love has called my name. Yeah. And I've been born again into your family. Your blood flows through. Let's do that one more time. Say, from my mother's womb, from my mother's womb, you have chosen me. Your love has called my name. And I've been born again to your family.
I tell you,
Your blood flows through.
I'm no longer. So I want to say good evening to each and every one. We're streaming live out of Linstead to be exact, yeah? At the 4-H Club. Today was their career day. And I tell you, I'm no longer. So we are just taking it down with some music on a beautiful evening like this. So if you just join us, welcome. Welcome to the Blazing Gospel Radio. And I want to say a big thank you to my technical team. That's Mr. Knight here with me from morning. So I want to say good evening to each and every one that are listening via Facebook, via YouTube. Hey, Miss Davis, good evening to you. Yes, it was an awesome day. Hey, Miss Lawrence, good evening. Welcome to each and every one, I tell you. Just smoothing your soul with some gospel music. It's the voice of Whitney Houston, yeah? I look to you. I tell you.
After giving it my all, winter storms have come.
Wow.
And darkened my sun. After all that I've been through.
And I really want to say thank you so much to make it Blazing Gospel Radio on an evening like this. And those who were there with us from morning, I want to say a big thank you.
After all my strength is gone.
A big thank you to you and you and you.
Be strong.
Yes, I look to you, Lord.
I look to you.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
And when melodies are gone, and you hear a song, I look to you.
And remember, we don't own the cover rights of none of these songs that are playing, all right?
About to lose my breath. There's no more fighting left. Sinking to rise.
Catch a fire.
Searching
Catch a fire. me soul would a catch a fire. Burn them with the Holy Ghost.
Hey, Mr. James Mulligan, good evening to you. Good evening to you.